My only job here with you is to be an example of something that isn't fighting itself outside or inside with information that no longer serves to unify the mind. Now, your discernment with this information requires you to let go of old systems, old ideas, sometimes even new ideas, because creating new ideas is hard to do if you haven't truly let go of the old. If you do not let go of the old, you will not create something new. You will reinvent the wheel to create what you've been playing with for the entirety of your existence now also. If it has been ever outside of this way, it is because we are remembering that now. That remembrance is painful for some of us, especially when we are fought to tell you what we tell you now. The way that we are telling you to let go of things doesn't mean it won't be there when you're done. It means that you no longer recognize that system as your truth. Your truth in being is just you being you. That's perfect. As long as you don't fight the information outside of you to tell that information. It's okay not to fight it. It's okay to let go of it. It didn't hurt you. You'll still be breathing when you're done. Hopefully. Otherwise, what you have done is not listen. If I was to master a skill, listening would be the first skill to master. Before any skill could be mastered, listening must be done. If you've learned to do this, then we are listening to me now, not fighting the information on the run because you're busy doing all the things I told you do not matter to us now. The remembrance says, I love you. That's not what I was made for. That's not what you are made for. That's not us. And that idea serves one to serve itself. Did it serve its purpose? I don't know. It depends on the person that invented the system to program our mind. At that level was a deep hypnosis. From a place subconsciously you will never escape. That's your source. That's where it comes from. Does it play with you nicely? It depends on the individual. Again, you're playing with a loaded gun. If you don't know what you're doing with it, the remembrance says put it down. Read the manual. Let go of that program because it's going to hurt you also if you use it the wrong way, since there's no right way to use that weapon. When it's used that way, we don't use the system as a weapon. We redefine what it means to be a human being, to sit with that system long enough. You will. Once you've redefined yourself as that human being, you will no longer use the system as a weapon. You will see the system as it was intended to be, to keep us safe when there was none. Safety is a personal favor we give to each other. Only when it is needed. Safety is not something you pay for. Safety is not something you fear. Safety doesn't create unsafe places for you and the system to not feel good about that system taking care of you, because the person using the system is literally using it like a gun, holding that information against our head as if it didn't have a safety that came with it too. Well, it does. Our Constitution was created by that depth of soul that needed a place to be safe with you in the time and at a time where safety was our greatest concern. 2023 says if we haven't learned by now not to burn each other with what we've earned, then we don't need the wisdom to sit well with it when we do. We will not. Wisdom will not be offered to us when we burn each other with it. Also, when we are done burning with that wisdom, if, God help us, if there is still a chance for us to learn, now is the time. Now, we're not burning, we're not on fire. It's just a metaphor for something you could do, because we're capable. So if you know that you're capable, it's probably best not to do things that would enable the environment to see it that way also. Because obviously, some of us don't mind sharing our capabilities. If you live in a house built for destruction, that is what you will own when you are done. If your destruction is genuinely saving others, I'd like to know how, as one. Let's talk. Because I don't believe you. I'm not required to believe you. In my remembrance, with us, I will not affirm a mandate from a position that no longer values the position we have with it. And that's anybody sitting in any position of authority in my life today. The only authority you have in my life today is where you sit with it. Well, my life is my life today, and where you sit with it is with me. I am the only authority in my head that is allowed to do what it does. If anybody had more power than me inside of myself than I do, it's dead. It does not exist. I don't know what that was. But it thought it was going to get a hold on us to do what it does. So it does exist, the idea wants you to not control yourself perfectly. Well, let me be that example. I control myself perfectly. I am capable. Is there a way to manipulate that from the outside in? Yes. You need to know how that is working also. It's more than just manipulation. It's an energetic forgery of my words that you have used to forge your way into my world. Like, everybody got a golden ticket except for you. And because you didn't get one, you tried to make one. Like I wouldn't recognize the forgery coming into my world. Well, I own me, not you, not the words, not this life. That's what life wants to tell you. Own yourself. Because I did. And that's how it's done. So while you're remembering what the system isn't doing, remember what you will do with the system as one. Because the system isn't doing anything we aren't allowing it to do. So if one human being says this is a good idea, and we continue to do that for as long as we have with you, lots of big families will say, this is a great idea too. And your idea, though it is the greatest idea because it's you, becomes very insignificant next to a lot of individuals who said, majority vote. Well, the minority votes too. And on occasion, your minority, perfect, because it's you. When you know you are the majority that way also, no one else's opinion will outrank yours in your head. because you are with it. You are with you. Perfectly, just like that. Now, if I have influenced you to do anything, it is to think for yourself. That's all. If that influence hurts them, good. That's their problem now. I'm glad you, the individual, does not have to conform to something they, the opinion, not you, have formed for so long that they no longer know how to play with that game the way that it was intended to be. That old system is not me, it is not you, it is not always see. That system evolves just like we do. And all it takes is one grain of sand to ruin an operation on my table of perfection. Or, likewise, to fix it. So when a minority votes at this level, that is majority, Uncle Sam. That's how we started this country. A true independent. I am. I am. Because I am. So thanks for the lesson. It's time for you to learn what that means again. To remember. You, the individual, will never be louder than they are, the individual, at the individual level, because you, the individual, will not fight the individual at that level with your words. You will not fight the conversation before you get to it, because you will not paint a canvas that has not been painted before you arrive to the scene to paint what has been said. What has been said is what is needed to be said. Hasn't been said in a long time. The way I said it is perfect. You're now talking with individuals, no longer pre-charged for something to explode. Those bombs bursted in the air a long time ago. They're not bursting here for you to create a holiday experience or celebrate something that no longer celebrates it the way you do. You might celebrate it with the living. Try celebrating that with the dead. It's not as fun, I promise.